Okay. There we go. I'll sit up. Alrighty. It is time. It is time to tackle Little Nightmares Tress in its final chapter. So without further ado, well actually, I'm gonna wait a little for more people to show up. Ooh. Drink some water real quick. Gotta be, you gotta have that liquid refreshment in your life. Eat that liquid refreshment. Keep you hydrated. Drink water, kids. You need it. It's important to you. Because trust me, I know I woke up today just... I hate that feeling every time when you wake up when you sleep. Like after you're done sleeping and you wake up, your mouth is just completely dry and you're just thirsting for a good old quench of water. And I hate that feeling. Which makes it all the more satisfying when you finally get that water that you want. But yeah. Just do not like that feeling at all. But anyways, without further ado, let's get started. And here we are, back at the Institute, on a very nice little beach. A very cozy looking place. So cozy, it seems. Turn on my flashlight, it's dark. Hello, hello, hello. Anybody here? Wow. I will say, even though this area is my least favorite in the game, I won't lie, it looks nice. And the idea that it's like an orphanage, but it has like a mix of like, jungle growth growing out of it. It has some kind of creepy moments littered throughout this game, I'll admit. Like there is some genuine creep factor to this place. Oh yeah, and the place is kind of in ruin. Not exactly up to code, if whatnot. It's over here. Ugh, that is an ugly fellow in that portrait. No, just achievement. Okay. Through here we go. Pull. Nice. Thankfully, this stream is going to be a bit shorter because this is the final chapter of this game. And thankfully, I don't think it's too long, I must say, so I think we got this in the bag. Oh, hi there. So yeah, there's killer plants littered throughout this place. And they will kill you on sight. Alrighty, through here we go. And it's also kind of creepy that you can just hear kids, laughing and giggling in the background. done. Now we can casually move along here and try not to fall to our death, because that's the last thing that we need right now. Why are you looking up? Keep moving. Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. Shimmy, 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 shimmy. Oh, wow, that is a not pretty sight. Is this cake? No, not that. Is this cake? What the heck is this? What on earth am I holding? Is this cake? Ooh, it's an old cake. Gross. Okay. Let me grab this. Nice. Alright, meet our new enemy in this area. That is a nurse. They're kind of like the viewers from the second game, but I think these guys are slightly more intelligent. And these guys are blind, so thankfully we can't see. Push the button! Come on! Yeah, good riddance, buddy. I don't know what to do about this thing. Oh yeah, we're about to, well, not right now, but we'll see who our fourth antagonist of this place is going to be. Our big bad of this game. And yeah, this looks like a long, long thing. Yowza. That is a big foot. That is a ginormous foot. Wow. Bigfoot. Okay, we just wait. Bingo. Nice. And we're going up. Dark room. Very dark room. Very, very dark room. Okay, we need a battery. No, not that. I sometimes forget that the right stick button gets rid of the flashlight. Because I keep pressing circle like it's Little Nightmares 2, where the flashlight is the circle button. It throws me off a bit. Oop. Sorry about that, that was my phone. Just a notification. Playroom. Seesaw. What kind of seesaw is in this area? That's usually reserved for outside, not inside. The hell? And there's books for learning and reading. There's crayons. What colors are these? I can tell that's red. That's red, and I'm guessing that's green. Neat. There's a lot of toys over here. Does this room look familiar? Oh yes. We're in Lo's room. get to see the doll. And by touching this doll, we activate this weird kind of aura of some kind where we essentially can see things that normally aren't in their respective places anymore. I think this is a neat little mechanic that they've thrown in. See? The train is working now, even though it wasn't. So naturally, we can't go in there because that door is blocking that way. So what we need to do is go up here and throw this out there. Perfect. And now that that's done, we can take it to places that we are yet to access. And also, there's a giant hole over here. So make sure you have this with you at all times. Projection room. Help. Thank you. Go over here. And once we're done with that, we can now access the contents inside of that machine. Bingo. Friend. Now we just gotta waltz all the way back to where we need to go. Put this down for a second. That done. This here, sadly, so we can go over this way. They can throw it over here. Thank you. Sadly, we can't take the doll with us, so instead, we need this. There. Now we grab this and we drag it all the way over here. Bingo. That opened, we can now skulk our way through this place. And also, free snacks for the win. Oh man, it got stuck in there. What the heck? Okay, that was weird. Ah well, it ain't important anyway. Whoa. I thought that was a person right there for a second. Jeez. It creeped me out for a good second. Alright, what's over here? Oh, I forgot. That thing. I completely forgot. Hurry, 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 hurry. We got a giant hand. Yeah, that is not comprende. here? Run! Flee! Run as fast as you can. You can't catch this little kid, man. Ugh. Freaky shit right there. Yeah, very freaky as hell. And again, it's the symbolism with the eyes littered throughout this place. So I'm not revealing his name just yet, not until we've properly seen him. Because his limbs don't really count. Officially, yet. I gotta traverse through this mushroom-infested place. Gross. Alright, climb through we go. That's done. Gotta go up these stairs. Oddly, kind of looks like the stairs from Little Nightmares 1, with the way that it's set up and built. Probably just be me. Alright. So we need a key, so we gotta push this open. Because our key is over here. You know that thing doesn't have a lock on it, right? Well, anyway. Jesus! That is a nasty way to go. She has shiny looking hands. Okay, let's go. With our key in hand. And yeah, that's pretty much what happens if the plants get you. It is not a fun way to go. This. Now we can open the doors that we couldn't access through before. And with that done, we can now take our little doll with us again. We just gotta run all the way down here. Let my friend catch up a little bit. Alright, now we gotta go through these children's, well, you know, rooms. I was gonna say cells, but it's technically not really a prison. But... oh, wow. Wait, actually, I do need this. I'm an idiot. I completely forgot. Okay. There's also some neat little Easter eggs from the podcast that are in this area. This right here being one of them. So you might not see because the screen might not tell you well, but on this bed, it spells out the numbers 1229, and that bed is reserved for the main character in the podcast named Noon. She was like this little girl that had like a tumor in her head, and every time she went to sleep, she'd have like dreams of going to the nowhere, and she was given like candy that was like drugs to her, and there was this doctor that she had that, you know, used her to access the dream world so that way he can do something nefarious with her. I won't share what that is just yet because I want to save till the very end. But yeah, just giving you a little rundown. Now, I'm gonna jump over here. Alright, with that done. Oh shit. Oh, I hate this room. Yeah. There's a lot of nurses in here. Shit. Ah, shit. This is not good. Alright. It's that death perception that fucking throws me off. Jeez. Uh-oh. God, it really throws me off. Like, see? Like, I wish it had more moments like that where it actually has me on edge. Because not once do I ever feel that until, like, the later sections in this game. Okay. Now with that done, now we gotta go through here. Push this door open. And we're now outside. Like, I do like this area a fair bit, like, even though it's my least favorite, it is a very nice looking area. Oh yeah, there's a... Jeez. That's nasty. Right? Down we go. Oh, wow. Talk about pulling yourself together. Okay. Ah. Alright, good. Now let's continue on our quest. Oh yeah, these giant limbs just laid about the place. Pretty nasty stuff. Okay, now let's grab this. Oh, wrong button. And let's get a move on. Oh, jeez. And here's our fourth and final antagonist, the Hypnotist. And he is fugly. Be gone! And here is another reference to the podcast. This is the chair that the doctor used, or the hypnotist, I basically should say, used Noon for, you know, accessing the dream world, or the nowhere as it's called. He basically gives her, you know, drugs so she can feel calm, and that way he can access her brain. And the hypnotist is named Otto. I'm not sure if they're the same person though, because Otto is like a person in the counties who's like a real person. But I'm not sure if this giant monster is supposed to be him, because it's not really clarified if it is, so just take that for what it's worth. Isn't that? No, it's not. I thought it was. How is that lit up? Oh yeah, and these are all the tapes that they took for like every kid that he's tried to use it on. Like Noon wasn't the only kid that he tried to use that chair on. Like there's been numerous amounts of kids that he's been doing it to. And we're gonna get a season 2 of that podcast at some point in the future. So, yippee! Climb up this. Yep. Ooh. Me no like that. Right? Here we are. Now we gotta open the store. The downside is we can't go through. They can. Because when we let them go through over here, there's a broken wall. Perfect timing. Thank you. This way we go, and take another elevator ride. And we descend all the way down. Yeah, this elevator kind of takes a bit. Just wait a sec. Oh, great. And the light's going on. The light's just flickering. Yeah, that elevator ride took like a freaking minute and a half. Alright. And now it is time for us to have our climactic duel in our finale. Go down this hallway. And at the end of this hallway, there should be a door. Ah, there it is. Let's do this. Let's finish this. And this is our room. And we're in some deep trouble. Yup, lots of deep trouble. And he's back. I'm mixed on this guy, if I'll be honest. I'll go over my thoughts later when I'm done beating this guy. God, that's so cool. He's ugly. The door. Push it. Yes. Raise it. Perfect. Alright, now we gotta run down. Because the other hand's gonna crawl towards us. Ah! No! Why did I get stuck on that? Ah, damn it. Oh, come on. I gotta do this again. Okay, fine. I got stuck on that damn thing. Alright, let's try that again. You're gonna ring the gong. There you go. Oh, we went all the way down. There's the mirror from our nightmare. We can finally get out of here. Or will we? And surprise, surprise, it's never that easy. Because it's boss battle time. So what we need to do is just dodge the falling debris that just comes out of this place because it gets a little chaotic. And then once that's done, they're going to drop a gong. And we have to ring it to destroy the... Well, not necessarily destroy, but just, you know, kind of scatter the hand. And reveal its eye, so that way we can shoot it. It's one hand down and one more to go. Oh boy. Alright. Pull up the arrow. Friend, quickly. Ah, nicely done. And now, the head. That's done. That is a wrap. And just when you think it was going to end like last game, nah, we're not doing that. We're going to go together this time. We go together. Also, I gotta say, what is up with the kids in these games and they have such weird looking faces? I know I'm probably being a bit mean, but it's just the faces just kind of throw me off. I'm so used to them not, you know, showing their face. It just looks so jarring to me. And those drawings are important. I'll go over in a little bit after this is over. about this ending too. Mask got broken. And now all that's left to do is just walk to the mirror. So yeah, I am switching. Don't trust it. Use this mirror to finally head home. Unfortunately, things are never that simple. They just wanted to live together in a nice home. And that's it. That was Little Nightmares 3. And, okay. So to go over the ending real quick. Basically, Alone wasn't actually a real person. When Lo wakes up in the counties from his nightmares, he has a doll of Alone, and he has drawings of all the locations that they have been through from the, the necropolis to the carnival. And when he's in those dreams, Alone pretty much comes to life. She's basically kind of like an imaginary friend that guides him, in a way. Like, she's essentially not real. She's not a real person. She was just like a figment in his head. Because, well, he was alone and he had no one. Like, he was genuinely low and alone. And that was such a neat twist. So, yeah. Very sad, but bittersweet ending. So basically, when he goes through the mirror, he essentially goes back to the real world, and when he goes back to the real world, she doesn't exist anymore. That's also a sad part to bring up. And yes, there is a post-credit scene. We'll get there. And this credits is kind of long, so I got plenty of time to talk about things. And as for the hypnotist, or Otto, as he's called, he was basically trying to find his sister that went missing into the nowhere one night, like, she was sleeping. And he basically uses, like, other kids, like Noon, Lo, and what other child is in the facility, so that way he can try to access the nowhere himself to try and find his sister. I'm not sure if the hypnotist is him, but I'm not sure. I don't know if it's actually him or not. So, yeah. That's pretty much it when it comes to the lore of this game. But I think those drawings, were not like made up by him. I think those are the locations that he saw and he remembers, so that way he draws them to describe what they were like to him. Because usually when kids like draw stuff, they always try to draw things that they remember, but they don't do it as well as like, adults do it. So, yeah. Just clearing that up. So to go over my thoughts on this one, compared to the last two, I think it is an acceptable entry in this series. Was it done exactly the way that I wanted it from like the last two games? No. It could have been better, and I will admit that it has a fair amount of flaws. But honestly, I quite like it. It felt nice to go back into this world and see them try and do new and unique things that, honestly, I would love to explore more in this franchise. Like, there's so many vast locations that are not in these games. Like, there's so many stories that you can tell with these kinds of games. So many areas and new monsters that you can encounter. Like, I feel like there's just endless possibilities that you can do with this series. So, for Supermassive tackling their first Little Nightmares, like, honestly, this wasn't a bad attempt. Like, it's not a bad attempt, but I will say it, like, oh geez, I'm starting my words. It does have issues that I do notice when playing through it compared to the first two. Like, I think I know what the problems are. There are 3 issues I have with it. One is the pacing. This is kind of more of a nitpicky kind of pick, but I think the pacing is good in the first half. Where you go to the Necropolis, to the Candy Factory, and to the Carnival is fine. But when you go into the Carnival, it takes like a long majority of the game. Like, it's basically 2 chapters put into one. And then after that, you go straight to the Institution, which is like mildly shorter compared to the 3rd chapter that came before. And that kind of bugs me, because 5 chapters was always the number that these games followed. And that is something that I'm just not entirely huge on. Second is the lack of a theme. These games were always good at trying to express something with, what they're trying to tell. They use their environments to try and explain what this game is about. In the first game, when you go through the mall, you see like a bunch of food littered throughout the place. You see the guests eating the food, and our main character, Six, often has hunger pains, and she needs to constantly consume things, whether they be food or not, to survive. Like, hunger was the main theme of the first game. What is the theme in the second game? Escapism. Because you have TVs littered throughout the place. You have people that watch those TVs. Mono has like a power that's similar to those TVs. And the twist behind him and the Thin Man like really elevate the theme of that game. Little Nightmares 3 doesn't really have a significant theme. It's just new areas that you go through that have very little connection with the place. That's also something I want to bring up, is that when you traverse through these games, they always felt connected in some way, like the areas you go through. The first game, you're entirely just on a giant boat. You go through like a prison, a lair, and then you go to the kitchen, to the guest area, and all the way to the ladies' headquarters. And even in the DLC, in Secrets of the Maw, you go from like the prison to the Deaths, you go straight to the hideaway, and then you go straight to the residence. In Little Nightmares 2, you were on an island separated from the mainland that you're supposed to go to. You're set entirely in like a wilderness setting. Then you get off that island, go straight to the mainland where the Pale City is, and you go through like different locations, like a school, a hospital, and more parts of the city. And then you go to the Signal Tower, which is basically where everything is kind of getting all fucked up from the start. And then in this game, it gives you different locations that don't feel as connected as what the first two did. Like, you go from a dead city to a candy factory to a carnival in the sky, and then an institution on an island. Like, there's not really any connection to all these places. Like, the only two that actually have some kind of connection are both the candy factory and the carnival, and it makes sense. Like, it makes sense because those are the only 2 chapters in this game that I actually really like, because the first one's fine, and the 4th one's also fine. I'm just not huge on both. Even though I do like the way that they look, I wish that they did more. And finally, my biggest issue with this game is the lack of an antagonist. Like in the first two games, you had, like in the first game, you had the lady, who was essentially built up from the start of the game. She was seen in Six's Nightmare, and then you see her in small appearances every once in a while throughout the game. And then when you reach the final chapter, you fight her and you beat her, and you basically take over the maw, and well, you escape. Like, and even in the DLC, they kind of do that too. Like, she's the main antagonist of that game. And then in the second game, you have the Thin Man, who admittingly doesn't really show up a whole lot, but he actually is in certain moments that you just don't see him in. Like those moments when you have to go down that hallway to open the door in the second game, when you go through, like, you know, the TVs. He is there, we just don't know that he is there. At least not yet, until we open the door. And then when we open that door, he chases after us throughout the fourth chapter, and we beat him. And then when we get to the fifth chapter, it reveals the twist, spoilers by the way, that Mono and Thin Man are the same person stuck in an endless loop that they're trying to get out of. It really helps elevate the twist behind the villains in the games, that, you know, that they may seem human, but there's something that just about them that feels so off. Which you could say the same for the other monsters, but the most human ones often have the most mysterious and shocking kind of vibe to them. And in this game, you don't really have that. You don't have a main antagonist. It's just a giant toddler, a six-armed lady, a guy and his little hand puppet thing that's like his little brother, and finally, our main antagonist of this game is a hypnotist. A giant hypnotist. As a concept, it's cool. Like, the idea of a giant, you know, building containing this giant, large man skulking his limbs around just to find you is, like, it's cool. But as a main antagonist, like, the main villain of the whole game, it just doesn't work for me. Because he hardly had any sort of build-up from the get-go. Like, outside of, like, one or two moments where he does show up, he's not as well remembered and, you know, iconic as what the first two main villains were like. And that's something that just kind of irks me. So while I do like this game a fair amount, I really do, for trying to do cool and unique things, I feel like they kind of focus on prioritizing a lot of ideas rather than focus on making a game just like the first two. But still, I did like this game a lot, and I'm glad that I got a third installment. Could have been better? Yeah. But for what we got, it was pretty good. I liked it. If I were to rank this game, I'd say it's below the first two games, obviously. It'd be like 3, then 1, and then 2, because 2, I think, is just the best one in my eyes. And if I were to rate it a number, the first game was like an 8, the second game is like a 9. I'd say I give this one like a 7. Like a solid 7. If the pacing and the frickin' chapters and the frickin' the main antagonist issues were solved, I would probably put it just as good as, say, somewhere between like the second and first game. But sadly, because of those issues, I'm putting it below it. I'm putting it below the first. But still, I like this game. Could have been perfect? Yeah. Like, could have been better? Yeah. I quite liked it, though. And, you know, for their first attempt, it's not a bad attempt. Like, I think they got the formula down. I think they understand it. I just think that they need a little more time to work on it, just so that way I think they can make a game just as iconic as the first two. They are close, but they haven't quite perfected yet. But, yeah. Those are my thoughts on Little Nightmares 3 as a whole. And yeah, I like it. Not as good as the first two, but I like it. And of course, that's not it. And I'm going to skip over this stuff because this whole credit sequence just takes forever to go through. And of course, there's also some other things that I also need to mention before this whole stream ends. This game is going to get DLC chapters. Like, the first one is going to come out sometime in, like, the spring between, like, I think like March and April, I think, or April and May. And the second one is gonna come out sometime in like the fall, somewhere between like August to October. So yeah, we are gonna get some DLC chapters, and I will stream them for the first time. And until then, I don't know when we'll get that. But yeah. God, these credits just last so freaking long. You know what, whatever, I'll just let it play through. But, or wait, actually, what the hell am I doing? I can just press this button. I forgot about that. And we are back in the counties, where everything is normal sized, and he's trying to fix the mirror so he can go back and save his friend. I'm not sure if this is going to tie into the DLC, but we're going to have to wait and find out for a good bit. But yeah, that's it. A bittersweet ending. We managed to escape, but our friend got left behind. A sad way to end. And that's it. That's Little Nightmares 3. And of course, to show you what I'm talking about, over here on the right, but you can't see, this is where the DLC chapters are going to be, and it's called The Secrets of the Spiral Expansion. Now, I already purchased it, and it's going to come soon. Like sometime next year, so until then, we're going to have to wait a good bit until it actually shows up. But yeah, these are all the locations we've been through, and that's pretty much it. So, yeah, I got nothing else to say. I pretty much summed up all my thoughts in this game. Like it, not as much as the first two, but I like it. It's an acceptable entry in this franchise. Could have been better, but for what we got, I like it. And for those who stuck around to watch this stream, thank you ever oh so much. Even though I don't really have a lot of people watching these streams a whole lot, it means a lot to me that there's someone out there that actually does watch my streams. So I greatly appreciate it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Until when those chapters come out next year, this is kind of it for Little Nightmares as of right now. Oh, and there's also a VR game, but I don't think I'm ever going to play that because, well, I think I need to purchase like a certain kind of headset for that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing more, nothing less. So until then, this is MMR signing off. Thank you for joining on this nice little journey with me. And I'll see you guys next time.